Hey, people. I never heard about this one-footed guy in the garden with Adam and Eve, but it seems in the past it was common knowledge, and they posted it on many churches in the artwork. I learned about this in the book of Ezra while I was breaking it down to show you how many cults have come from misconstrued writings. This is a practice that's still used today. Uh, if you have a helper and makes a bad cut on the job, you send him to the truck to get the stretcher while you're fixing the problem because you don't want him making too many bad cuts and you don't want him to see how easy it is to fix it. So if the priest's helper was asking too many questions about what are all these circles on the floor, he might tell him that that's to keep the demons out while he's casting his magic spell. So I may be wrong. This might be a book of magic, but I think it was just coded like that to keep the secrets of the real magic of the medicines. So this Nebuchadnezzar, a Nebu in Wiki, it says it's a safe house, and a czar is a curse. But you could see how this come together to tell you this is the book to tell you how to make a safe house, a Nebuchadnezzar, to spin your curses from. So this book of Ezra breaks down to the tools of Ra, or the tools of the beginning, the tools to begin. So this plant, to connect a plant to make knowledge from, this knowledge from plants comes from mushrooms, LSD, DMT. And people that have done this would tell you that's why they do it, because the angels bring them knowledge. And this curse is to fold and begin to consume from the book of Kings, from the binds to give, to open the first secrets, and to see the binds to work through from the writings in the first seal. The foot cut off in the beginning. The foot cut off in the beginning. And that was this one-footed guy in the garden with Adam and Eve that I never heard about. So the first thing I do is I try to find the most ancient spelling and break it down. And I found it in the old Greek, and they've been talking about these creatures for a long time. They said that they were born this way, and it said it's the secret fold to make open the odes, the odes of Ra, the odes of Horus. There's a couple more clues here. I see that Pliny the Elder wrote about it in the Natural History, and that's the book of the figs. That's where I found the memory, and it has the figures, the figs, which tells you to go all through the Bible to see the code that you're looking for, to see the picture of what you're talking about. It also tells me that they don't like the sun at all. So it tells me that they live in India and Ethiopia, and in the book, the City of God, and they're not sure if it was come from the stock of Adam or come from the stock of Noah's son. And this Carl Ruck says that they're not born single, and he seems to think it's a plant or a fungus associated with soma. And Eric the Red said they could be found on the south side of a west flowing river, and he found them there while he was looking for food. And I always break down these words that I don't recognize to see the clues. But from the clues already I pretty much know that they were looking for something to eat and found a mushroom. And the clues also tell me that it's a fast-acting mushroom. So this would be a soma. It holds the colors of Santa Claus there. So in my ignorance in scanning for clue words, I didn't know what a Narnia was. And I saw this word Lucy Pavinsky, and I knew a Lucy is a helper, a Lou, uh, to help consume the work, and a Pensy. So I went to searching for that, and the only place I could find it was this children's show, Chronicles of Narnia. But I knew there was more to it, so I changed that IE at the end into a Y, and that was where I found the biggest thrill of all. So the oldest building here in Pevensey is the St. Nicholas Church, aka Santa Claus, and it was destroyed and turned into a preaching box. And you can see on the top here the strange spelling tells me why, and it was much decay. It was from the seals divided through to give the works. Much decay, or the lack on the timber and glass, the lack that binds to give. So they covered all this with plaster, and they put a brick wall in to separate the chancel from the nave so the people couldn't see the apse. So we saw in that ancient Iliad that that letter psi came from the come after to consume. So that would be the apse would be the knowledge to come after to consume the fire. So all the clues were just too loud. They wanted to quiet it down some, but they still left the clue there. And you can see the inscription on the front. It says the bind 230. I imagine that has something to do with this book of the Common Prayer. And they look like they try to destroy the ones that were put in English, but I'd rather see the original copy anyway. I can get more out of it. And I did find the front page of it anyway. And you can see it says, from the knowledge to make the tongues to bind life, the songs to bind in the garden. And the garden is the foot cycles. So I guess when you were in the Garden of Eden, if you went for a walk, you were in the garden. And that is consistent with the Bible. It's the GN is the garden all the way through, but there's a little bit more to that we'll get into later. So this one-footed mushroom, he also carries the tools of the serpent and hangs out in the garden with Adam and Eve. So you can see what I'm getting to. Santa Claus, Bigfoot, the serpent, the mushroom, all one and the same. Good day, folks.